Greetings hobbyists, this is Artisans of Vaul, and in this video we're looking at some tips and techniques to make your workflow more efficient in Blender. So I had a request recently asking me to go through some of the things that I do when modelling that makes my workflow faster and just more efficient. I thought it was a nice idea. Many of these tools and techniques have been gone through in other videos briefly or in more detail, but I thought it was nice to put them together in one place. So the first two we're going to cover are to do with scaling, and one of them we've covered relatively recently, but I wanted to put it here in case that video hasn't been seen. So we just scaled this up, and you'll notice that the scale now is set to 7 to allow this to happen. Now most of the time we want our scale to be 1, and to do that you have to press Ctrl and A and apply the scale. Well, the other option is to use an add-on that's called Auto Apply Transform, and you can see that at the bottom of my M panel, and it gives me a few options, one of which includes the scale, which is generally the only one I use. So what happens now is this will auto apply the scale, but more importantly, if I ever change the scale, it will auto apply it again. And that's really handy, so it means that we don't have to keep reapplying that. Now I'm just going to undo to the point where we've got it to the size I want, but that's really handy. It's also nice that you can turn it on and off for when you want to use it. Now for the rest of these, we're going to have a look at another scaling trick. I'm just going to come to my asset browser, and we're going to add some power cells to the top of this as if it was the top of a weapon. Let's come to my weapons bit and my ammunition, and we'll use, let's say, this grav cell. So let's put that up there. So what we're going to do is, let's say, want to scale this. This might not be exactly the size that we want. Let's just move that more centralized and move it down just a tiny bit so there's a little bit of overlap. Now, there's a slight issue with this, which is that scaling works off of the origin. And in this instance, if I hit S, it's going to therefore scale it down into the part where we want it to attach to, which is not exactly what we want. Now, importantly, there's a couple of ways of dealing with this. The most obvious one is moving the origin down towards the bottom. And we can do that. I'm going to show you something with that later as well. But I also want to mention something that comes in Blender already there as standard. You don't even need to change anything as an add-on. And that is that if you come down to here where your scale tool is and click and hold, there is something called the scale cage. You can also press shift and space and then 5 and it brings this up, and you'll notice what we've got here. We've got a box with lots of little dots on it, and those dots work scaling it like maybe more traditional programs do. And if I drag here from the top, it scales it from the bottom and keeps it in place, which means that if I want to, and I'll just undo that, scale it in all directions, I can scale it from the corner and drag it, and it works off of the opposite corner, which is really nice. Now, if you're modeling something, let's say it's in a specific location and you want to keep moving it in relation to something else, so for example, that back edge or something like that, this is a really handy little tool. So I really like that. I'm just going to undo that back to where we originally were, but I think that is a very handy tool. The only thing I wish would happen is now that it's there and we've selected it, I wish that if you hit S, it actually started the scale cage tool now that you put it there, but that's fine. You can always come and click on it. Anyway, so that's some scaling tricks out the way. And next I'm going to make a copy of this, and I'm just going to snap it to there. Now to do this, I want this to go on this edge, so I'm just going to activate my snapping. We'll go to face and keep that as rotate, and we want to align rotation to target, which is there, and shift and D, shift and Y to limit in the Y direction, and hold control so that it turns it on. Let's go to about there. You could have also turned it on that way. So we've got this, and I want to mirror this across, so let's just come to here, add a modifier for a mirror it across this object, and we're pretty good to go. What I also want to do is create an array of these, so let's come here, add a modifier array, and then we want this array, if we come down, let's just expand this a bit, to not be in the X direction, we want it to be in the Y direction, and somewhere about there, let's call it 1.4. Okay, now what I'm going to do is just shift a D and then X and make a duplicate, and we're going to talk about a few different things. So I do want to change this. We're going to have this one being wider, so let's come into side view, go into edit mode and then vertex mode, and we'll just select those vertices, G and then X those across to somewhere there. Now at this point my mirror isn't working very well. That's a problem, and that's because this is working off of the origin. It is mirroring this object across this object's origin. So we're going to need to move the origin. Now this isn't too bad to do in this instance. We can go to Object, Set Origin, and Origin to Geometry, which will work, but there are lots of other options that we might want here. So what I'm going to do is go to Edit Preferences. You're going to have to come to Get Extensions. This is really massive. Let's just shrink that down a bit. And then up here, I'm going to type in 3D view, and you'll notice I've got 3D viewport pie menus. Click install. Now there is a longer video on this. Anything that I talk about here that has a longer video, I'll link in the description. But essentially one of the options here is to get this options menu if you hit Control Alt and X. And that has all of the standard moving origin buttons, including to geometry, volume, mass, and the cursor, but it also has two really nice extra ones, which is move the origin to the bottom, which if I come here, and let's do that again so we can see it, it moves the origin to the center of the bottom, and you'll notice that perfectly sorted that out there, so that's great. Or if you want to, not that this will make a difference in this instance, I could select those two vertices, or just one vertex, but if you do two and Control Alt and X and origin to selection, it goes to the center of those. You could also just do one of them, let's say move it to there, this will mess up the mirror, but it moves the origin just to that one point. I'm going to select those again and then move that back to that selection. Now this would have actually been very good as another option for the scaling that we did earlier. I could have hit Control Alt and X, origin to bottom, and then if I scaled it, it will scale from that point. So do bear that in mind as well. It just gives us some extra options that you don't otherwise have. Okay, next on to modifiers and tips with using modifiers. And in this instance, over here, we've got this array that's been done, but I also want this to be arrayed in exactly the same way. So I could come here, come down to the array, memorize all of that or whatever information I've got there. In this instance, it's not too much. Click on this, add modifier, and do all the changes that we need. But it is vastly quicker to click on the object we want to copy to. You could do this to multiple objects, so you could have multiple objects selected. Shift select on the object with the modifier we want, come down to the modifier, click that little down button, and then click copy to selected. And you'll notice that has now copied this single array to my other object, and it's copied all of the settings that were already there. Really nice. Now over here, I could do that as well and do it for the mirror and then do it for the array. There is another option as well. Now, there is a slight bug with this option, I think, in terms of using the new array modifier. So hopefully this will get an update soon, but I want to mention it just so that this works. And that is that if I go to Edit, Preferences, and then Get Extensions and type in Copy, you can install this Copy Attributes menu. Again, it's all free. It's just in Blender's extension warehouse. And if I do that, exactly the same thing. In fact, let's just Shift and D and make a duplicate of this so we can see that this works on multiple objects. So I'm going to click, Shift click, and then Shift click last on the object I want to copy from. If you press Control and C, you get all these cool options, like copy objects is what Control C normally does. And if you've only got one object selected, that still works. But all of the other ones only happen when you've got multiple objects, and that allows you to copy rotation, location, copy scale. Note that this won't work if the scale isn't changing because we've got that auto apply scale on. That's one of the instances where you don't want it. We have all of these other options, and one of those other options is to copy modifiers, and this will copy all of the modifiers from the active object to the other two objects. So let's click that. Now if we come here, let's just delete this top one since we don't need it, and I was just showing that it can do it to multiple objects at the same time. If we click here, we've got our mirror, and that's working exactly as we wanted. It's copied that we wanted to work off of cube 2, which is this, and then we've got the array, and this is where this has had a problem. It didn't used to have this issue, so I think this is to do with the fact that this array modifier works off geometry nodes, and it hasn't copied across these settings. So I'm going to have to put this to 0 and change my Y to 1.4 again. So a slightly annoying issue that I wanted to mention with the array modifier, but this does work. Okay, so helpful to speed things up if you want things done a lot, especially if you've got lots and lots of objects and you need to apply a mirror to all of them in one go. But what if we decide we want to change this? What if now I realize, well, obviously I need more of these power cylinders, so I'm going to up my array to, let's say, 6, 7 even. Okay, and now I'm going to have to do the same to this one. And what if that was loads and loads of objects that were arrayed that we had to add to? This would be really annoying. Well, this is where the next tip comes in. If you click on multiple objects and they've got the same bit of data, for example, this array, if you hold down Alt when you select on an option, for example, the count, and then I change the number, so we want to up this to 7, it does it to all of the objects that were selected, not just the last one. You'll notice if we've got the same thing, click, Shift click, and I change this to 7, it only does the top one. So Alt click, you could also Alt click, click and drag, and then drag this to whatever number you want, and it will work on multiples of them. And I could do this with loads of objects. Let's come to here as well, and then Alt click, click there, and then 7, and it's worked on all of them. That alt clicking to do multiple things at the same time is really handy. And just to be clear, if I just bring out my M panel, this doesn't just work on arrays, it works on pretty much anything. So for example, if I wanted to change my location on the Z, for all of these I could hit Alt and click there, type in 30, and all of them jump up. Whereas if I just did that without clicking Alt, only one of them would jump up. This works on pretty much everything other than the dimension option. That's the only thing it doesn't work on. It does work on scale, but not dimensions. So just be aware of that. You'd have to use the scale if you wanted to change the size of multiple things. Now, at this point, let's have a look at one other thing that I didn't do here, which is going to be really annoying. And that is that if I realize that suddenly that I want to change these, if I press tab and come in here and then let's, I don't know, I to inset this and then E to extrude it up, this has not done it to this object as well because we just duplicated it. Now, the other option that we had, if we just come and delete this and select this, but instead of pressing Shift and D to duplicate, if instead we hit Alt and D and then hold Control, this is going to probably not like that because there's so many of them. Let's just hide these modifiers for now so it doesn't cause the problem. So Alt and D and then Control to there, and then I can move this to somewhere here-ish. I'm not being too precise with this, but you'll get the idea. Now let's bring those back. And we need to do the same for this one actually. So if we come here, we could have hit Alt and clicked that, and then Alt and click that, and it will bring both of them back. So the Alt works on clicking Option buttons as well. Because I hit Alt and D instead of Shift and D, these are now linked duplicates. And whichever one I click on, let's just come here, I and E to extrude that up, you'll notice that it's doing the same to this one. So let's say if I just bring that both into frame, if I G and Z, you can see it working on all of the linked duplicates. And it doesn't matter which one you work on, we could come on to this one. Another nice tip, if you want to quickly shift from one to another, if you hold your mouse over the object you want to swap to and hit Alt and Q, it will swap to that other object in that mode that you're already on. And then I hit S to scale that in. Let's get so we can see both of them. You'll see it's working on both. So I really like to use linked duplicates. There's also added benefits of this, of it taking up less disk space. And if you ever want to separate these so they're not linked anymore, if you come down here to the object data properties, you'll notice that we've got this icon here. If you just click on that, it will separate the one you've got selected from the other linked duplicates. So I find that pretty nice. Okay, so we've covered quite a lot of different tips there that I find useful to speed things up, but I'm going to cover one more, and this is one I'm not sure I have covered before. Now, let's say I just want to select all of these at the same time. For example, I want to change one of these settings. Let's say I want to change the offset. And note that these, we've got that little bit sticky out at the top, are now different to those. If I do select all of these and come to that array and use that Alt trick again, it doesn't matter that the objects are different, because as long as they've got the same modifier on them, it's going to be fine. Let's just put that to 1.4. But selecting all of these is kind of annoying. I would love to just be able to drag and select them, but these two objects at the bottom will get selected as well, so I have to click those, shift click on that one and get it off, and then shift click that one until it comes off, and that's a bit annoying as well. So this tip's going to allow us to do away with that, and I find this really useful if I'm working on, let's say, a larger shape like a tank hull, and I've got lots of bits I want to select by clicking and dragging, but I don't want to select the hull. Up here in your object outliner, you'll notice that we've got lots of little options, like we can make things not visible or not render. That will not actually show a difference here because we're not rendering it. But there's also other things we can do if we come to this filter button. And we've got this restriction toggles, and this one here, selectable, is insanely helpful. What I can do now is know that this was a cube and this was a cube, so I can make those not selectable. And now that means I can just drag and select here and it won't select this. In fact, I can't select it. Okay, so if I select here, then that has selected everything I want other than those two cubes, and I can modify these as much as I want. At any point I can just bring that back, and now I can select that one as well, and then if I turn it off, it automatically gets rid of it even though it was selected. So you can do this after the fact as well, just to get rid of a selection. I find that very helpful if you've got certain bits that you definitely don't want to accidentally select or go onto. Anyway, lots of little free tips and tricks there. Hopefully they were useful to you. If there are any tips that you'd want to share that you find speed up your workflow, please say so in the comments section. It'd be really appreciated. Or if there's something here that you haven't used before, let me know what your favourite was. It gives me an idea of what to cover in the future. Just so you know, if you do want these ammunition options, we've got loads of different ammunition here in different levels of detail, and also things like power cells. I'll put that back up on the Patreon and the download tier, and any support such as a like or a comment is really appreciated, but it is the Patreons that help fund this channel and allow me to keep going and making these videos, so thank you so much to the Patreons. I hope to see you in the next video, and have a great day.